Diogenes had problems with Athenian customs, beliefs, behavior, property, traditions, philosophers. He was coming for all of it. And the guy was smart enough to cause a problem for his contemporaries. You could find Diogenes walking backwards, and to people who laughed at him, he said, "How can you laugh at me? You who walk backwards in life." Or, entering a theater when everyone else was exiting, stating, "This is what I've been doing my whole life." Shouting for men to gather only to drive them away with a stick, because he asked for men, not dregs. Walking away from the man who said to him, "Motion doesn't exist." Rejecting invitations from banquets, because he wasn't thanked properly the last time he came. Eating in public places, such as the marketplace. Being sold as a master at a slave auction. Give notice if anyone wants to purchase a master, there's one for him. Shouting at a woman being carried in a litter that the cage doesn't fit the animal. Begging from statues so he could practice being rejected. The Athenians took on Diogenes as a challenge. They had already gotten Socrates executed. What could Diogenes possibly do, eh? Let me tell you about how he got to Athens in the first place. Diogenes was a citizen of Sinop, a city in modern-day Turkey. I don't know much about his time in Sinop, but the story goes that him and his father Hycesius, who was a banker in charge of Sinopian mint, were involved in defacing the currency, which promptly got him kicked out of Sinope. Thus, he ended up in Athens. Diogenes searched for Antisthenes to teach him the philosophy of cynicism. Antisthenes declined to teach Diogenes and threatened to hit him with a stick. Diogenes stated, "Strike me if you wish, but you'll never find a stick strong enough to drive me away from your discourses." Antisthenes accepted Diogenes as a student. After graduation day, Diogenes was on the prowl. He pissed on people, elaborately roasted them, spat on them, cussed at them. He was a menace to society. Plato published his description of a man as a featherless biped, or two-legged animal. He found lots of praise because of it. So, naturally, Diogenes plucked a chicken and went to Plato's academy and announced, "Behold, Plato's man!" Plato updated and added, "with broad, flat nails," to his description of a man. This story varies a lot, but I like the version where Plato comes up to Diogenes washing vegetables and states that if Diogenes had paid court to Dionysus, he wouldn't have to wash vegetables. Diogenes replied, "If Plato just washed the vegetables, he would never have to pay court to Dionysus." He happened upon an unskilled archer shooting at a target. So Diogenes walked up to the target, sat by it, and stated, "Now, I shall be out of harm's way." After all this, he finally found a place to chill and relax in Corinth, only for him to be interrupted by Alexander, who asked the philosopher if he wished anything of him. Diogenes simply asked Alexander to step aside, as he was obstructing the sunlight. In some versions, Alexander says, "Do you not fear me?" To which Diogenes replied, "No, for what are you, good or evil?" Alexander answered, "Good." Diogenes then stated, "Who then fears good?" At this time, many statesmen and philosophers had come to Corinth to meet and congratulate Alexander the Great. And boy, was he surprised when he found a guy not giving a shit. Apparently stating to his soldiers, "Had I not been Alexander, I should have liked to be Diogenes." Back to Athens. Now Diogenes was a bit older. He carried a stick with him, and people of Athens had warmed up to the philosopher. Because once someone broke his ceramic jar, the people of Athens beat the shit out of the perpetrator and gifted Diogenes a new jar. To prove that he wasn't roasting the people of Athens 24/7, I'll share a few wholesome incidents. Diogenes once saw a boy drinking water by cupping his hands together. So he threw away the wooden bowl he kept and said, "The boy has beaten me in simplicity. Actually, I only have the one." But he wasn't a total dick. Source, you ask? Trust me, bro. Has a stranger ever lied on the internet? Anyways, Diogenes, as all things, came to an end. A few thousand years ago at this point. Some say he died by holding his breath because he was simply bored of living. Or that he ate an octopus or the leg of an ox. Or was bitten by a dog, which made him sick. But he could have also lived to be 81. And so, his friends found him by his usual spot. They thought he was sleeping. But alas, he was dead. They quarreled and even came to blows over who should get to bury him. But when the elders and higher-ups of the city arrived, they buried him on the gate which led to Isthmus, and they placed over him a pillar, and on that, a dog in Parian marble. The people honored him with brazen statues, and put this inscription on them: E'en brass by lapse of time doth old become, but there is no such time as shall efface your lasting glory, wise Diogenes, since you alone did teach to men the art of a contented life, the surest path to glory and a lasting happiness.